I'm about to say something controversial. I think Sonic 3 is the best in the Sonic movie trilogy. The story, the action, and both the live and voice acting were great. And of course, the peppering of some good old references to the Sonic games. What more could you ask for? Not much, I guess, because this movie is really able to deliver for fans of the Sonic games, so that's not really a bad thing. It allows the audience to experience the stories from the games in a different way, much like how the Super Mario Bros. Movie was able to create an enjoyable narrative from a game series with very little story outside of the good guy beating the bad guy. The gist of the movie is about Shadow breaking out of the custody of the gun organization and seeking revenge for a tragedy that happened 50 years ago. So it's up to Team Sonic to stop Shadow before it's too late, essentially. But as you guys may have seen from the trailers, Team Sonic have some trouble taking on Shadow and have to resort to working with Eggman to stop him. But there's not just one Eggman in this, there's two. Because Eggman's long-lost grandfather Gerald also makes an appearance, with both being performed by Jim Carrey. There's even a self-referential joke thrown in there about that. For one actor playing two characters, I think he did a really solid job in trying to show the familial similarities between them, but also find a way to distinguish them from each other as well. Taking on two roles like that couldn't have been too easy. He was even able to wear an outfit that resembles modern Eggman's design more, which was satisfying to see. It was also good to see the main cast continue their roles and further develop their characters, as well as the dynamics between all the characters. All the actors performed their roles wonderfully. But of course there's the one character that many people care about the most, and that is of course Shadow, fantastically played by Keanu Reeves. I don't know if it boils down to voice direction or what, but his voice might have sounded a bit underwhelming to some of the people that played the Shadow Generations movie DLC tie-in level that released a week before this movie. After watching the movie, I could assure you this is not the case for the movie, and I think Keanu does a wonderful job expressing the feelings and mindset of our beloved, but tortured, Black Hedgehog. The action is really good too, and they do a good job of making Shadow come off as a big threat to Sonic and friends. The movie was able to quickly yet comfortably progress because the gun organization and some of the other characters were already established in the previous Sonic film. It does so without the pacing feeling like it was too jarring. So those elements were able to carry over to this movie, and we didn't have something like another wedding subplot, which I didn't mind that much in 2. I enjoyed the brief moments of levity, but I know some people didn't. But because of that, the main plot for this movie was able to be more active, with no real pointless additions to the movie. And it even ramps up more in about the last half hour of the movie. The story is also about how Sonic and Shadow are parallel characters. Both experience loss at such a young age and pivotal time in their lives, but it's how they choose to grieve and the decisions they make that define who they are. I will say there's a reference in the movie that ties back to the Knuckles TV show, but it's not like it's a required reading for this movie. It's one of those moments you could appreciate as someone who watched it, but if you didn't, it's not like you wouldn't be able to still enjoy the movie. However, the Knuckles series is still a pretty enjoyable experience if you haven't seen it yet. And of course, there are plenty of Easter eggs and references that are lovingly sprinkled in there. I think I was able to enjoy a lot of them, even on the first viewing, but I'm sure that there's even some more that I missed. I will also say that Jeff Fowler, the director for these 3 movies, deserves a fair amount of praise. The writers Pat Casey, Josh Miller, and John Whittington deserve some credit too, especially since the team has remained consistent throughout the movies. So the film team is growing along with the characters in the film, and you're able to see how each new installment builds and improves upon each other. But the director is often regarded as the most important part of it, since he's the creative lead and decision maker for the film. I also admire his decision to take the criticism by the fans at the initial Sonic 1 movie trailer and allow the movie to be delayed to fix the Sonic design so we can be at the point we are now. Which makes me think about the famous quote often attributed to Shigeru Miyamoto: "A rushed game is forever bad, but a delayed game is eventually good." I know in this case it's a movie, but I think the principle still applies. If the team responsible allowed the first Sonic movie to release with the original design, the movie most likely would have flopped and we wouldn't be going 3 movies strong with more spin-offs and movies to come. And to me, they've just gotten better and better. with this one to me being the best of the trilogy, since the team took the feedback from the previous two installments and were able to use it towards making this movie the best they could make it. So I'm hoping that trend continues with Sonic 4 and beyond. It's also great how the movies and games have some sort of healthy symbiotic relationship with each other. Obviously they're not a one-to-one comparison, and all the movies are essentially a different reality than the games, but it's nice seeing references to the games in the movies, and vice versa. I definitely recommend giving this movie at least a watch, or maybe many more. I also plan on doing a video diving more into spoilers and more that'll be up sometime tomorrow, so look out for that as well. But I think that'll do it for this video. Anyway, thanks for watching, and until the next one, take care.